Mongolia, the famed home of the conqueror Genghis Khan. A massive country that most people know absolutely nothing about. Outside of the capital of Ulaanbaatar, the population density is only 2 people per square mile. Despite its huge size, most people can't even place it on a map. It's not what you'd call a tourist destination. And that's exactly why we came. My name is Danny McGee.
And I'm Jonah Levine. For the past few years, we've traveled the world as filmmakers, photographers, explorers.
Whatever you want to call it, we just love seeing new places and sharing them with the world.
And our job has led us to some incredible places. In most parts of this planet, the path has been paved.
It's become harder and harder to avoid big hotels, scheduled tours, and a million hashtags.
But if you look hard enough, there are still places out there that are untouched, raw, and real.
Places with stories worth telling.
In this series, we venture to all corners of the earth to tell those stories, no matter how far and wide.
Two years ago, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this photo of this dude. And he was on horseback and he had this giant golden eagle on his shoulder. So instantly I was like, where in the world is this? And I figured out that it's a type of people who live in these super remote parts of Western Mongolia. At the time, I was like, I have no idea how this is gonna happen, but someday I'm gonna figure out a way to get there. Here, 2 years later, we just landed in Ulaanbaatar and we're doing it.
I've been dreaming of going to Mongolia since I was pretty much in high school. I remember reading about it in National Geographic and just being amazed at this remote, desolate, hardcore country that I've never heard of before. A couple weeks ago, Danny goes, "Hey man, you want to go to Mongolia?" It's like, yeah, I would love to go to Mongolia. When are you going? I think like 3-4 weeks. All right, dude, let's do it.
Feels like a lot of the places we go these days have a million hashtags, and one of the cool things about here is we did some research and there's not a whole lot out there. I'm most excited to just see the most empty space I've ever seen. Staying in yurts, riding horses, I couldn't be more stoked.
Tomorrow, the adventure begins. Woo! Yo, guys. So I just got an email from the guide, and he said we have 2 options. We can either take a Land Cruiser, which is apparently like a lot nicer of a car. It's newer, it's more comfortable. Or we can take this really epic 4x4 van. And this is what he says. He says, it's easy to break, but easy to fix. What do you guys think? Dude. There's something to be said about the lonely corners of planet Earth. There's still places out there that are almost completely and totally empty, untouched, remote. So far from the hustle and bustle of our normal everyday lives that it seems like a completely different world. There's an inherent draw to places like this. They're hard to get to, they're empty, but they are undeniably beautiful. On the flight in, we flew over thousands of miles of desert. Not a road, tree, or sign of humanity in sight. When we landed in Hovd, we could have sworn we landed on the moon. Once we got our bags, we met up with our guide Quantuk and our driver Taka, and hopped in the van we'd be traveling in for the next 10 days. Our first stop was a grocery store. Jonah's hot on the trail of toothpaste because they stole his in China. We made sure to pick up only the necessities.
Need more beer.
After we loaded up, we set out on the road. So the entire reason we were here, the reason we'd flown thousands of miles, spent nearly 2 days traveling, was to visit the famed eagle hunters. But more than that, it was a chance to see a festival that happens only once a year. With the help of our guide, an Indy guide, we managed to sort out a stay with one of the hunters.
After like a, I don't know, 7 to 9 hour car ride through like the bumpiest roads I think I've ever been on. We woke up here and it's freezing cold, but it's so beautiful. There's
Where
like,
are we?
I know,
I have
there's
no
just
idea
cows and
geographically anything anywhere we are.
yeah, it's really wild.
What direction did we even drive?
I don't know.
So after we left the town, we drove about 3 hours on pavement, and as soon as the pavement ended, we turned off the road, went for about 10 minutes, and just instantly got stuck in like this massive lake.
If you wanted to ruin that
Guys, push harder, man!
Long story short, we ended up getting ourselves out, but the whole rest of the night, it was like we would go for a while, and then the car would break down. And so you would go to the back, get tools out, fix it. So the whole thing about easy to break, easy to fix was very, very apparent last night. We're finally here. We walked outside this morning, and right next to the yurt that we're staying at, there's this big golden eagle just tied up. Yeah, we don't know what to expect over the next few days, but we're just stoked about life. That morning, we got introduced to Alps the eagle hunter and his family. We'd be staying with them for the next 3 nights. We also got introduced to the infamous bread that we literally ate for every single meal the entire rest of the trip.
We're about to head out to go learn how to ride horses because it's the best way to get up the mountains around here. Tomorrow we're gonna go up in the mountains, so today we gotta feel it out, learn if we can do it or not, but should be
I'm
fun.
not falling off of a horse today, man.
No?
It's not
I
happening.
might.
Famous last words.
Dude, what'd I tell you about your blinker? Stop forgetting that. After we got a feel for the horses, we headed back to the comfort of the yurt.
It's awesome. It's like freezing out here, but you walk in the yurt and it's super, super warm because they have this stove in the middle with a pipe running out the top. And we were wondering what they use to burn as fuel because there's no trees like for hundreds of miles. And we took a look this morning and they're just burning all their cow poop. It's all over the ground and they just dump a big thing of it in the fire and makes us all warm. So whatever works, right?
Back in the yurt, we spent some downtime with the family. We had a ton of downtime during the trip, and it was amazing. Without the distractions of the modern world we left behind, we really got to focus on what life was like there. The families we stayed with didn't have jobs per se. Surviving was their job. Tending the herds, cooking, keeping the stove burning. Basic necessities that just don't happen in the modern world that we call home. That night, dinner was served. Homemade dumplings, bread of course, and a traditional song and dance. Tomorrow was the day of our first big eagle hunt, so after the performance, we instantly fell asleep to the sound of the crackling fire, which was actually cow poop, but we just tried not to think about it. What's for breakfast, Jonah?
Well, we have a shocking new development in our meals today. We're having bread. It's very new and different, but we're adapting as we go.
What are you eating there?
Eating or drinking? 'Cause I don't want to talk about this guy.
Jonah, what's good?
Everything.
Woo! So today we are headed off into the mountains again. No idea how long it's gonna take. No idea where exactly we're going. We just figured out from our guide that we're only 60 kilometers from China. So if you look over there in the mountains, that's the border of Mongolia and China. So you can just see how far west we are. Eagle hunting has been a way of life in this part of the world for thousands of years. They hunt for rabbits, foxes, and even wolves when they get the chance. The animals they catch go a long way towards helping the family. They make clothing from the pelts and sell what they don't need. Alps described it as a type of meditation for him. When he's in the mountains, he feels free. The rest of the world fades away, and he's completely present.
I think he got one.